found that Tyler Reddick can win on any type of racetrack or course, which he has won on road courses 3 times already in his career. So one of the best at this as well. His crew chief is Billy Scott, and right now down with him is Dave.
Well, Rick, as you can imagine, with this weather moving through the area right now, things are becoming very, very chaotic. Not chaotic on the booth. It's controlled chaos here up on top of the 45. Billy's been talking with driver and engineers, trying to figure out what's going to happen next. What word are you waiting for from NASCAR on decision-making here?
I think we're just kind of waiting to see what the weather does here. Got a couple minutes to make a decision on what we go do a sight lap on. We are allowed to come down after the first lap and change them. I think that's where we're at right now, to go out there and not lose position. So now it's just debate going on the radio on what we want to do the sight lap on, and yeah, a lot of it's going to be up to Tyler when he gets out there.
Billy, once he is racing, what are the biggest pitfalls, or I guess you should say potholes on a street course, right, that you face as a crew chief in decision making?
Well, before it was just a matter of, you know, maintaining track position and making sure that we are, got enough fuel to get to the end, and looks like a one-stop strategy. But now this is obviously going to change stuff, and it's just a matter of adapting to the situation.
All right, Billy, thanks very much. We'll let him get back to work. He's looking at everything, talking to everyone that he can talk to. And, of course, Marty will be up here a little bit later, checking in with them periodically on what they're doing as well. We'll have the Xfinity 360 cam in Tyler's car, so we'll be able to ride with Tyler and watch him progress from just inside the top 5 in this race.
Yeah, Dave, we're embedded with that 45 team today in stage 2, which is great, that all access to the team. Steve, we just heard Billy Scott mention his situation. NASCAR has told them if they want to change the tires right now, they can, or they...
So we'll be embedded here in stage 2 with Tyler Reddick and his race team. And I want to talk about what Billy Scott just did a moment ago when Reddick made contact with his teammate Bubba Wallace leaving pit road. And what they were able to do is they were able to get still photos from around the racetrack. Steve, you know this very well. Every manufacturer and every team as well has photographers everywhere around the racetrack. And obviously even more when you're on a road course or a street course like we are here at Chicago. So Billy Scott was able to get those pictures instantly to here to the pit box and diagnose exactly what's going on with the nose of the 45 car. So Steve, it's a little bit of an intricate process, but every manufacturer has this, every team has this, and that's how Billy Scott knew, hey, the damage earlier from hitting your teammate, it should be fine. Tyler Reddick, Billy Scott, this race team's in the playoffs for that big win at Talladega, and normally you guys are excellent at the road courses, but I don't, when we talked about this embedded thing, I don't think we planned this kind of day, did we, Billy? How have you managed all the chaos of this day, rain, no rain, and all that's happened?
Yeah, we're getting all too used to it here in Chicago, unfortunately, but yeah, it's just a matter of letting the drivers decide what is best for them and what they feel out there, and yeah, it's a little bit chaotic with wets on and slicks back on to start. But it looks like this rain's going to be here for a little bit.
You can see Tyler has joined us here on the front bench having a conversation with your engineer. What do you want to do under a red flag like this when you have the rare opportunity, almost a halftime break, to talk to your driver?
Yeah, just going back and understanding the data and knowing how hard to push. We're in mixed conditions, presumably might be the whole rest of the race, and it's just a matter of evaluating risk versus reward and then knowing how hard they can push and how soon.
You tried to game plan for everything, Billy, but did you come up with a plan of what to do if it rains today like this?
Really, it's just adapt. That's the biggest thing, is we all came in here with what seemed like a pretty simple plan. I think, most of the field knew it was going to be a one-stop and very low fall-off here on the street course, but certainly Mother Nature has other ideas, and yeah, just got to adapt to it and just be ready for anything and hope to work out on the right side of it and keep good track position.
Obviously SVG out of the race now, and he was in that group of favorites along with you guys. Does that change the game at all? Does Tyler play it a little more aggressive now, knowing, hey, it's a wide open game?
I think it's still a matter of evaluating our risk versus reward. Like you said, there's several guys that we know are in contention, and many of them are still out there. You hate to see him get taken out like that over something silly. And no, we still have to be smart, right? Because it's in a moment's notice it can bite you. It's definitely they're on the edge out there every lap. So we still have to be smart and still have to be there at the end. But yeah, just not try to take ourselves out.
Still a lot to go here in the race today. Appreciate the access the 45 team is giving us. We're going to go talk to the driver. He's right over there in just a moment, Dave.
conditions.
Well, he proved a couple of weeks ago he loves the rain, winning there at New Hampshire. Let's chat with Tyler Reddick. How would you describe the conditions on the track? Because Bell was saying the visibility was very tough.
Yeah, when we that's one of the downsides, right? Is in a restart situation like that. Maybe it's just the first lap or two. The visibility is really difficult with just the standing water on the track. But you know, for me, I was really surprised to see how well in fairly damp conditions we could kind of run on the dry tires. It's kind of a learning process, and the more you get running, the more the dry lane starts to really form. So yeah, learning a lot out there for sure. I felt really good at the start and was kind of trying to figure out where I was going to get around Ty, and you know, Shane just did a good job putting me in a tough spot, and you know, there was a lot of cars lined up kind of just driving off each other, and we lost a good bit of track position there. So yeah, I feel like we got good speed. It's just a matter of not crossing that line, and certainly, you know, in the 14 lost it there. I feel like I drove in and found my limit, and I almost tricked myself into trying to race him down in there, and I kind of realized how out of control he had gotten. So really thankful I was able to pick up on that, and miss that calamity. But yeah, I guess more than anything, just been real impressed with. Again, you know, I was impressed yesterday, impressed today with how Shane's able to carve up through the field and just what he's able to do in the car. It's a shame he's out of the race, but he was really putting on a show, I feel like. So just trying to learn what I can from him and some of the other cars that have good speed at the moment. Yeah, it was real crazy to take back off there in those more damp conditions.
So speaking of learning, when you came up on the pit box, there were no pleasantries. There was no, hey, how you doing, or how's the race been? You immediately went with your engineer to study SMT. Kind of walk us through what you're trying to learn, because you mentioned I'm trying to learn from what Shane did earlier in the race.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is not exactly, you know, I not getting the most out of my car right now, I don't feel like. So we're just trying to look and see, you know, if there's any little moments around the lap or certain laps, certain areas of the track that seem to really work good, you know. So I guess I've done a good job of not wrecking it yet, but certainly we want to run faster than we are. So we're just going to try and look through some things and figure out, you know, which particular laps or which particular style was really helping me get the most speed out of our Jordan brand Camry.
By the way, speaking of conditions, you said your fire suit's literally soaked. Is that from the water coming in from the side or from the top or everywhere, or what?
Yeah, it's pretty much everything. I was sitting in the car trying to not get wet, and just a lot of water really comes in the car under caution, and you know, we were standing still, so I was just getting so wet I just figured I might as well come out and get in the rain and come up here and look at some data and be ready to go when we resume racing.
You mentioned the Jordan brand, and got to ask you, is there a little more pressure, not only on you, but your teammate Bubba Wallace, when you guys come to Chicago knowing, hey, Michael won 6 NBA titles here?
I know, it's we certainly feel that pressure, and we embrace it, honestly. You know, we came in here with the expectation to contend, and I mean, 4th was a good qualifying effort for us, but certainly I was, you know, wanting more out of the qualifying day and left motivated to try and get better. The start of the race, the first couple laps went well, getting to second, and just unfortunately, you know, we kind of fell back a little bit, but it's a tough game to play here with these conditions on a street course. So we're just trying to learn what we can and be ready to go when NASCAR calls us back to the vehicles. All
right, we appreciate the access that you and Billy have given us all week long. Kind of fun to hang out with you guys.
Thank you.
All right, Parker, what's going on your end of pit road?
Well, hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.